Y'all, 28 years later has risen from the apocalyptic ashes, and I am happy to report it did not disappoint. This was my most anticipated movie of the year, and as someone who worships at the altar of 28 days later and 28 months later, this new chapter made me rage sob, smile, scream, and stare at the screen like, welcome fellow Stardust. Are you ready for a scare? Thank you for joining me today, Stardust. My name is Jeray, aka Rainbow Fright, and I am so excited to talk about this new installment. Right out the gate, this movie doesn't waste any time. Much like 28 Weeks Later, which kicked off with that heart-shattering moment of Dawn abandoning his wife, 28 Years Later starts with pure, unrelenting chaos. We're talking maximum panic, maximum stakes. And while it may not be as emotional as that gut punch from Weeks, it sets the tone right. After 2 decades, they had to come out swinging, and they did. Now, let's talk world building, because the lore is rich. We all thought the story would pick up in Paris after a week's closing scene, but nope. Plot twist. The UK has been fully quarantined, totally forgotten by the rest of the world. Infected and uninfected are now coexisting in a warped, broken society, and I was living for the dystopian grime of it all. The atmosphere here is militarized and relentless. It's no longer just about the infected. It's about survival under control, surveillance, and fear. A second monster might just be the government trying to contain the virus, not just the virus itself. Now, in years, these folks are turning fast. In days, the infection spread in like 10 to 20 seconds. Weeks was a bit faster, but here, it is instantaneous. You blink and someone's already ripping your face off. The virus has clearly mutated. It's aggressive, immediate, and brutal. And then there's the alphas. These badasses are stronger, smarter, and literally tearing people's heads off with the spine still attached. God, yes, it's so violent. It's kinda cute. Danny Boyle, my king, you made some brilliant choices. The iPhone cinematography, a risk that paid off. This franchise started with the digital Canon camera, gritty and raw. Weeks went full cinematic with that gorgeous 35mm look. But now, with 28 years later, we get this hybrid style that captures both realism and chaos. Oh, and that 8-20 iPhone rig for kill shots? What absolute fun. The movement, the impact, it felt like I was right there, dodging infected blood spray. Now, our lead Spike? Phenomenal. He carried this film on his back with ease. Watching his transformation is a chef's kiss. We follow our main threads, Spike and his family, Jimmy's subplot, the mysterious fire in the distance, and the war against the infected. That might sound like a lot, but it all flows seamlessly, especially knowing this is the start of a new trilogy. Garland and Boyle really said, "We're back, baby." And it gave us rich storytelling with moments to breathe without dragging the pace. And the landscapes, breathtaking. One scene in particular, when we're introduced to an alpha near this giant haunting tree, had my stomach in knots. I knew in that moment we were getting something familiar but elevated. This film gives us the chaos we've been craving, but also expands the lore in a way that feels natural and earned. Boots playing over visuals of militarized order and relentless marching was perfection. A clear nod to dystopian control and collective trauma. Now, you know I cried. Of course I cried. This franchise is secretly one of the most emotional horror sagas out there. All 3 films tackle family, humanity, and moral choice under pressure. And here, the emotional punch comes through once again. These movies never just rely on blood and gore. They rip your heart out too, and I love them for that. Now, is it perfect? Not quite. There are a few things that didn't quite track for me. Like an infected giving birth to a non-infected baby. I don't know. I would have loved to see a zombie baby. Also, that infected mama was too calm during labor. Like, ma'am, you're supposed to be raging, not nesting. Another thing was an issue with the low tide thing. Can't really go into that too much without spoiling it, but why didn't things happen when the tide was low? And lastly, the absence of the theme song in The House in a Heartbeat was such a sad moment for me. I sat there the whole movie waiting for that haunting buildup, that slow burn guitar riff to kick in, and instead, we got a wannabe version tossed in at the end like a sad little breadcrumb. I get it, we're in a new era with new characters and a darker tone, but come on. Throw us a bone. Pun intended. Even just a taste of it in the first film would have hit so hard and tied everything together in a way only that track can. Honestly, it's enough to dock half a skull. Maybe we'll hear it in the next one. Fingers crossed. So while I want to give this one a perfect score like I did the previous two films, I'm gonna dock it slightly for the lore gaps, weird logic moments, and missing theme song. But trust, it's a banger. 28 years later earns 4 Rainbow Skulls out of 5, and I cannot wait for the next installment, directed by Nia DaCosta, scheduled to come out January of 2026. This franchise is the gift that keeps on bleeding. Well, thank you again for joining me today, fellow Stardust. I appreciate you being here with me. If you'd like to see my reaction to watching the film Shocker, sign up to become a patron. Once you have an account, you'll have access to exclusive content, access to my Discord, and monthly movie nights. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hop on the Rainbow Fright freight train and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. Until next time, Stardust. Peace.